There is a powerful law moving through your life right now, whether you recognize it or not. It is the law of wealth. And this law is not limited to a chosen few. It belongs to anyone who dares to believe in the power of their own spoken word. Wealth does not begin with money. Wealth begins with you, your thoughts, your emotions, your declarations. The moment you decide that abundance is your rightful state, something shifts in the unseen. The doors that once looked locked swing open. The opportunities that once seemed distant begin marching toward you. Why? Because the law responds to belief. It always has. When you speak with faith, you command the universe to rearrange itself around your vision. Your words are not empty sounds, they are spiritual forces. They are seeds that must produce after their kind. Speak wealth, and wealth must answer. Speak increase, and increase must appear. The law cannot be broken. It can only be obeyed. You may have been taught to chase, to struggle, to hustle for what is already waiting for you. But the law of wealth is activated not by fear, not by desperation, but by alignment. When you release the tight grip of doubt, when you stop wrestling with the how, divine order takes over. It moves people, opportunities, and ideas into your path with effortless precision. And then comes gratitude, the silent magnet of miracles. Be grateful for what you have, and it multiplies. Expect greater, and greater begins to seek you. Take inspired action, and the world opens like a flower in full bloom. The law of wealth is not merely about receiving. It is about becoming someone who gives with confidence, who serves with purpose, who walks with integrity. When you bless others, you bless yourself. When you share your gifts, you expand your capacity for abundance. So today, stand boldly in the truth that wealth is not outside of you. It is within you. You are the vessel. You are the channel. And the moment you align your words, your mind, and your spirit with abundance, wealth rushes to you with unstoppable force. Wealth begins long before it ever shows up in your hands, in your pockets, or in your bank account. It begins in a place. Most people overlook the invisible realm of thought, belief, and inner expectation. Everything that manifests in your physical world is first shaped, formed, and given life in your inner world. The law of wealth is spiritual before it is material. It is energetic before it becomes financial. And until a person understands this, they chase money instead of attracting abundance. They struggle outwardly because they have not yet aligned inwardly. Imagine your mind as the soil and your beliefs as the seeds. No farmer would ever expect a harvest without planting something first. Yet people expect money, opportunities, or breakthroughs without ever planting the mental and spiritual seeds that produce them. Your inner beliefs create the blueprint that your outer life must follow. You cannot hold thoughts of scarcity and expect prosperity. You cannot speak words of fear and expect divine abundance. You cannot imagine failure and expect success. Life is obedient to the picture you hold in your mind. Wealth requires an inner environment that welcomes it, supports it, and expects it. The invisible realm is not a fantasy or a dreamland. It is the workshop of creation. Everything begins here. Every idea, every invention, every opportunity, every blessing. Long before a building stands tall, it is a thought in someone's mind. Long before a fortune is created, it is a belief in someone's heart. Long before success appears, someone invisibly imagines it, feels it, claims it, and prepares for it. Wealth does not appear randomly. It is drawn through the magnetic power of inner certainty. The moment you see it inside, the path to it begins unfolding outside. This is why the inner life must be guarded with discipline and intention. Negative thoughts are not harmless. They are thieves. They steal the blueprint of abundance. They interrupt the flow of opportunity. they shut the door on what is trying to reach you. When a person allows fear, doubt, or unworthiness to take root, they unknowingly sabotage their own prosperity. The law of wealth requires inner alignment. You must feel deserving before wealth feels near. You must believe in increase before increase finds you. You must speak abundance before abundance responds. When your inner world is aligned with prosperity, you become a magnet. People, ideas, connections, and resources naturally gravitate toward you. You begin noticing possibilities that were always there but hidden from your awareness. Your decisions become clearer, your confidence grows, your actions gain power. Wealth begins forming in ways that feel almost miraculous, yet it isn't a miracle, it is the law responding to your inner shift. The invisible realm is where wealth is born, shaped, and nurtured, and when it becomes strong enough within you, when it becomes your expectation, your truth, your natural state, it must externalize. It has no choice. The seen world bows to the unseen. The physical obeys the spiritual. Wealth begins inside you, long before it appears around you. Your words are far more powerful than you have ever been taught to believe. They are not casual sounds drifting into the air. They are forces creative, magnetic, and obedient to the authority with which you speak them. Every statement you make becomes a command that your life must fulfill. Your words are builders, shaping the structure of your future brick by brick. They are architects, drawing the blueprint of your prosperity long before you see the results. When you speak, you set spiritual laws into motion, whether you are aware of it or not. This is why the law of wealth responds so fiercely to the language you choose. It listens to your declarations and moves accordingly. If you speak lack, you build lack. If you speak fear, you attract fear. If you speak doubt, you invite more reasons to doubt. Words are seeds that grow in the soil of your life, and they cannot help but bear fruit according to their nature. People often sabotage their own abundance by the casual negativity they repeat daily. I can't afford that. Money never stays with me. I don't know how I'll survive. It's impossible for someone like me to succeed. These statements are not harmless. They are instructions. They direct the flow of your experiences. They shape the opportunities that appear or disappear. They either open or block the channels through which wealth is trying to reach you. But when you speak with certainty, when your words carry conviction and expectation, something extraordinary happens. You activate the creative intelligence of the universe. You announce your readiness to receive. You give direction to the unseen forces that orchestrate your breakthrough. Wealth responds to bold, deliberate speech. It follows the voice of someone who knows what they deserve, who speaks from faith rather than fear, who declares their abundance even before the evidence appears. Words spoken with confidence become a magnet that draws circumstances into alignment. The most powerful shift you can make is to treat your words as sacred tools. Begin speaking as though every sentence shapes your destiny, because it does. Replace I can't with I will. Replace it's hard with it's unfolding. Replace I hope with I expect. Speak abundance even when your situation looks barren. Speak increase even when you feel stuck. Speak prosperity even when your bank balance tells a different story. Your words must lead the way before your reality follows. When you speak wealth, you reprogram your mind to anticipate it. You recondition your emotions to welcome it. You align your energy with the frequency of abundance. And once your inner world accepts your words as truth, your outer world has no choice but to mirror them. Doors open, opportunities arise, ideas spark, and resources appear, all in response to the authority of your spoken word. To understand the law of wealth is to understand that your mouth is not simply for communication, it is for creation. Every declaration is a prophecy you cast into your own future. Speak wisely, speak boldly, and speak as though everything you desire is already on its way, because your words are building the path for it to arrive. There is a profound shift that takes place when you stop trying to force life into your own design and instead allow divine order to guide the path of your prosperity. Wealth flows not through tension, panic, or relentless striving, but through spiritual alignment. When you release fear and stop wrestling with outcomes, you make space for opportunities that were already prepared for you long before you imagined them. Divine order is the invisible intelligence that arranges circumstances, people, timing, and events in perfect harmony. When you trust this order, you enter the flow where prosperity comes with ease instead of exhaustion. Most people are trained to hustle harder, push more, and strain their way toward success, but fear-driven effort creates walls, not pathways. It blocks intuition, blinds you to opportunities, and turns your journey into a battle instead of a blessing. When you let fear lead, you operate from scarcity, believing everything depends on your effort alone. But when you trust divine order, you step into the truth that abundance comes through grace, alignment, and inspired action, not force. Propastin of your procrasting as a parity, you are guided, supported, and surrounded by infinite intelligence that knows the quickest route to your abundance. Releasing resistance is one of the greatest acts of faith. It means letting go of the need to control every detail. It means surrendering the fear that things won't work out. It means trusting that what is meant for you cannot pass you, and what leaves your life has fulfilled its purpose. When you stop clinging to old beliefs, old fears, and old limitations, you make room for something greater. Wealth begins to flow where there is openness, not tension. Divine order cannot operate freely in a mind filled with worry and doubt. It moves in a heart that is still, a mind that is peaceful, and a spirit that is expectant. When you align with divine order, you begin to notice how things fall into place with surprising timing. A connection appears just when you need it. A new idea comes when you felt stuck. A path reveals itself where you once saw no option. Prosperity arrives in ways that look miraculous to others, but feel natural to you because you are aligned with the flow. You stop chasing and start receiving. You stop forcing and start attracting. You stop doubting and start witnessing how effortlessly life can unfold. This alignment does not make you passive, quite the opposite. It heightens your intuition and strengthens your confidence. It guides you toward inspired action, the kind of action that produces results with ease, clarity, and effectiveness. You no longer act from fear. You act from guidance. You no longer make decisions from pressure. You make them from peace. And decisions made in peace always lead to prosperity. Divine order is always working in your favor, but you must allow it. When you release resistance, when you trust the timing, when you align with the truth that abundance is your natural inheritance, you step into the flow where prosperity meets you without struggle. Wealth finds the heart that trusts, the mind that surrenders, and the spirit that follows the quiet, powerful direction of divine order. Wealth responds to a very specific inner rhythm, one built on gratitude, expectation, and inspired action. These three forces work together like gears in a divine machine. When one turns, the others begin to move, and the flow of abundance increases. Gratitude opens the door. Expectation keeps it open. Inspired action invites prosperity to walk right through. Without gratitude, the heart is closed. Without expectation, the mind is doubtful. Without inspired action, opportunities remain unclaimed. But when all three are alive within you, wealth cannot help but expand. Gratitude is the foundation because it creates a mental and emotional atmosphere of increase. When you give thanks for what you have, no matter how small, it multiplies. Gratitude is not passive. It is a powerful signal sent into the spiritual realm that says, I recognize the abundance already in my life. I am ready for more. A grateful heart is magnetic. It sees blessings where others see problems. It notices possibilities where others focus on lack. Gratitude shifts your awareness from scarcity to sufficiency, and whatever you focus on expands. The moment you choose gratitude, you align yourself with the frequency of wealth. Expectation is the next force, and it is just as vital. Many people are grateful but do not expect anything to change. They say thank you, yet secretly fear nothing more will come. But expectation is faith in motion. It is the inner certainty that what you desire is not just possible, but promised. Expectation transforms hope into conviction. It removes the question mark and replaces it with a period. When you expect wealth, you prepare for it. You speak differently. You walk differently. You make decisions with courage instead of hesitation. Expectation sets the stage for abundance to arrive because it signals that you are spiritually available to receive. Then comes inspired action, not frantic effort, not pressured movement, but action guided by intuition and clarity. Inspired action feels natural, aligned, and purposeful. It comes from a deep inner knowing rather than from fear or desperation. When you are grateful and expectant, inspiration flows easily. Ideas surface that would have never appeared in a stressed or fearful mind. You feel nudged to make a call, start a project, apply for an opportunity, or take a step you've been avoiding. And when you act on these inner prompts, doors open that would have remained closed through ordinary effort alone. Inspired action bridges the gap between the spiritual and the material. It turns energy into results. It transforms intention into manifestation. Without action, even the strongest belief stays in the realm of thought. But inspired action, fueled by gratitude and expectation, brings your desires out of the invisible and into the visible world. This kind of action carries momentum, and momentum creates rapid change. Wealth is not built by effort alone. It is built by alignment. Gratitude aligns your heart. Expectation aligns your mind. Inspired action aligns your steps. Together, they form a powerful triad that moves abundance toward you and moves you toward abundance. When these forces operate in harmony, wealth expands with a natural ease that feels like life itself is conspiring for your success. Wealth does not grow in isolation. It expands through the energy you bring into the world through service, integrity, and alignment with your true purpose. Money is not merely a reward, it is a reflection. It mirrors the value you offer, the intention behind your actions, and the truth of who you are becoming. When your gifts uplift others, when your work carries sincerity, when your steps align with the path your spirit knows is right, the law of wealth responds with increase. Prosperity moves toward the person who moves with purpose. It multiplies in the life of the one who uses their abilities to create, contribute, and inspire. Service is the first pillar of expansion. Not service rooted in exhaustion, obligation, or approval seeking, but service that flows naturally from your gifts. Every person carries something unique, an ability, a talent, a perspective, a way of solving problems or creating beauty that no one else can duplicate. When you use that gift generously, without fear that giving diminishes you, you tap into a source of abundance far greater than effort alone could ever produce. The universe rewards contribution. When you enrich the world enriches you. When you lift others, you rise with them. Wealth grows in the soil of generosity because giving creates the space for receiving. Integrity is the next force, and it is non-negotiable. Wealth earned without integrity is never stable, never peaceful, and never satisfying. But wealth grounded in honesty, sincerity, and purity of intention becomes limitless. Integrity aligns you with the highest form of abundance because it positions you as someone the universe can trust. When you say what you mean, do what you promise, and act in accordance with your values, you create a spiritual foundation that no circumstance can shake. Doors open because people feel your authenticity. Opportunities appear because your energy is clean. Success follows you because you have nothing to hide. Integrity is a magnet. It attracts the exact people and situations that elevate your life. Purpose is the final and most powerful force. When you align with your purpose, you step into the flow of effortless expansion. Purpose is not found by forcing. It is discovered by listening. It reveals itself in what you love, what comes naturally to you, what energizes you, what you feel drawn to again and again. When your work aligns with your purpose, you stop fighting life. You move with it. You begin operating from inspiration rather than obligation, and that shift changes everything. Wealth becomes a natural byproduct, not a struggle. The universe supports the person who walks the path they were born to walk because purpose carries its own supply. What you need, resources, ideas, people, opportunities meets you along the way. When service, integrity, and purpose come together, they create a current of energy that wealth cannot resist. Money flows to meaning. Abundance follows authenticity. Prosperity grows wherever your true nature is expressed fully and fearlessly. You are never richer than when you live your purpose, never safer than when your integrity is intact, and never more prosperous than when your life is a blessing to others. Wealth expands through who you are, not just what you do. In the end, the law of wealth is not a mystery reserved for a chosen few. It is a living force available to anyone willing to align with it. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you awaken within yourself. It begins in the unseen, takes shape through your words, flows through divine order, expands with gratitude and expectation, and multiplies through purpose, integrity, and service. Everything you desire is already moving toward you, the moment you believe you are worthy of receiving it. Stand boldly in your truth. Speak with authority. Walk with faith. Align your steps with the abundance that has always belonged to you. When you do, wealth becomes not just something you have, but something you are.